Oh, so first story of the day, we are going to talk about three extraordinary nurses who happen to be women that happen to have changed the way nursing is done today. Starting with the one and the most important nurse of them all, that's Florence Nightingale. And for a lot of people, they just know Florence Nightingale as the ultimate nurse. They don't know actually what she did and why she's super important. And the reason she's super important, the reason people find her in every single nursing textbooks in the history of nursing textbooks, is because she has established what nursing practice, how nurses should practice their profession literally over 100 years ago. So just a quick background on of what Nurse Nightingale did for us nurses today. She established the Nightingale Training School for nurses at St. Thomas Hospital in London, and nurses were trained here to be sent to hospitals across Britain. In turn, the newly trained nurses were sent to spread the word of Nightingale's nurse training. Nightingale published her theories on nursing training in 1860, which were widely influential in a lot of those nursing training ways of things that we practice today, and a huge part of that was sanitation. She was huge in sanitation. And what do we know today? With all of the science that we know from the antibiotics, all the medications that we have today, it doesn't matter. The number one thing that keeps spreading germs away is washing hands. And that is why Nurse Nightingale has changed lives and changed nursing and literally changed healthcare. Literally changed healthcare from when she started to today. And we will continue doing her way because it is the nursing way, which is the healthcare way. Number two, the second nurse you should know, and not a lot of people knew this because I didn't know this. I wasn't taught this in my nursing school. A lot of nurses I don't hear this name out there, but it's super important to know. And this is specifically important, and it's nice to remind people on International Women's Day. So Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger is our number 2 nurse on International Women's Day. So she started out in a rough way. Real rough childhood. So her mother, the death of her mother after having 18 pregnancies, 11 live births, and 7 miscarriages inspired Margaret to become a nurse and to specialize in the care of pregnant women. Yes, so Margaret Sanger has changed the way we look at a woman's healthcare today. In 1912, Sanger found a means to provide information to women about sex education and women's health by giving up her nursing career to write a column for the New York Call entitled What Every Girl Should Know. She continued in 1916. She opened the first birth control clinic in the United States. The clinic offered a range of services aimed at providing women with much needed support in counseling, birth control information, and supplies. And then finally, she did not just stop there. In 1927, Sanger helped to organize the first World Population Conference in Geneva with the aim of gaining increased worldwide understanding and acceptance of the need for information, advice, and practical help for birth control for women worldwide. This lady, Margaret Sanger, our nurse, one of my homegirls, has changed the way people look at women's health today. And not only that, she has given her life, she gave her life to providing health benefits for women, especially when it comes to birth control. Can you imagine? 11 live births. What she said, 8 miscarriages, 7 miscarriages, 11 live births, 18 children. My goddamn goodness. That is absolutely insanity, right? Insanity. So, of course, this is what threw her into the nursing world, but she didn't have to continue and break records and change lives, but she decided to do it because she is the superstar nurse we all one day hope to be. And that is just number 2. Number 3, Clara Barton. I love this one. Miss Barton, another nurse that you might not have known, but now you should know. International Women's Day. Let's go, nurses. 1850, she offered to teach without salary to allow students to attend schools where otherwise they would have not, had to pay. So this is the beginning of Clara Barton's story. In the beginning of her story, she decides, you know what, I'm going to go salary free and just teach children because these children are our future, and if they had to pay for the school, they wouldn't be able to go to school. So I'm going to teach them salary free. You're a superstar already, but that is just the beginning in 1861 when the Civil War began, and she dedicated herself to helping the federal troops by appealing for provisions, collecting and storing them in Washington for before distribution to the front lines, and then throughout, continuing in the Civil War in 1865 with the endorsement of President Lincoln. Yes, the endorsement of the president, my favorite president of all time, President Lincoln. Barton undertook the massive task of locating missing soldiers, setting up the Bureau of Records in Washington, tracking down some 20,000 missing names. Understand this. This is not in today's world where you can just go on Google and look people up, see videos of them, see they LinkedIn and information. No. Miss Clara Barton decided to give back to her community, to give back to her country as the best way she knew how, which is respecting those who gave their lives to protect, and this is the federal, per Lincoln, the North, protect our country by remembering those who stood up and fought. She went through records and she went on search and she decided, I am going to find the names of all of these young men and women, and I am going to make sure that they are recognized and they are put in our history books because they have fought and given their lives for this country. Miss Clara Barton, International Women's Day are because of women like you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember, these are nurses, and these nurses are women, and these women have has taken this world and put it in the right path. Like nurses do every day, but they have just done it on a much larger stage. I am proud to be a nurse, and these ladies are the goddamn reason why.